Hello, and welcome to Learn to Code with Karl. In today's session, we're exploring a crucial topic for every C and C++ programmer: stack and heap overflows. These aren't just common bugs, they can lead to major security breaches and system instabilities. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced coder, understanding these vulnerabilities is key to becoming a proficient programmer. Let's dive in and unravel these complex concepts together. A buffer overflow occurs when a program writes more data to a buffer than it was designed to hold, which can lead to crashes or exploitable security vulnerabilities. Buffer overflows can happen on the stack, heap, or in a memory-mapped file. Stack-based buffer overflows can be exploited to override the return address on the stack. This would enable an attacker to redirect the program flow to execute their own malicious code. Here's a simple example of a function vulnerable to a buffer overflow attack. Suppose an attacker provides an input string that's longer than 32 characters. This would override the return address stored on the stack. If attackers carefully craft the input string, they could override the return address with the address of their malicious code, effectively redirecting the program execution flow. Let me explain how bad guys might exploit stack-based buffer overflows. When a function is called, a new stack frame is created on the stack. This stack frame contains local variables of the function and the return address of the caller. When the function completes its tasks, it uses the stored return address to jump back to where it was called. In our example, the smash stack function takes an input string and copies it into a local character array buffer of length 32. The vulnerability here is that strcopy does not check if the source string user input is larger than the destination buffer. If user input is larger than the buffer, strcopy will keep copying data past the end of the buffer. This can overwrite the local variables and the return address stored in the stack frame. Now, here's where an attacker could exploit this vulnerability. By calling the function with an input string that is larger than the buffer, the first 32 characters will fill the buffer, and the remaining characters will override the return address stored on the stack. If the attacker knows the program's memory layout, he could replace the return address with the address of some malicious code. When the function finishes execution, instead of jumping back to the main function, it will jump to the code provided by the attacker. Thus, by exploiting this buffer overflow vulnerability, an attacker could hijack the control flow of the program and make it execute arbitrary code. This could lead to a number of harmful actions such as data leaks, system crashes, or further system compromises depending on what the malicious code is designed to do. I'd like to add that modern operating systems have various security mechanisms in place, like address space layout randomization and non-executable stacks, to make this kind of attack more difficult. However, buffer overflows are still a serious issue, and we should follow safe coding practices to avoid these types of vulnerabilities. Hey there! Intrigued by our exploration of stack and heap overflows in C and C++? These are just a glimpse of the common security challenges in programming. To delve deeper and enhance your coding skills, I have something special for you. Head over to the full Secure Coding in C and C++ course at learnwithkarl.teachable.com. This course isn't just about C and C++. It's about mastering secure coding principles that apply across various programming languages. Packed with practical insights, it's a must for anyone looking to bolster their coding against security threats. Check it out now and take a significant step in securing your code. Heap overflows are similar to stack overflows, but they occur in dynamically allocated memory on the heap. Executing custom code is not usually possible with a heap overflow, but an attacker could still exploit this vulnerability by overwriting the data used by the application. In the following example, we've got two dynamically allocated blocks on the heap. a buffer, and another block that stores a secret password. We first copy the password string into the secret password block. Now, storing passwords as plain text in a program is a terrible idea, but bear with me as I'm using this for illustration purposes only. Then we copy an overly long string into the buffer. The string is much longer than the buffer's capacity, causing a heap overflow. The excess characters spill over into the next block in the heap, which in this case is our secret password block. If attackers can control this overflow and have knowledge or make an educated guess about the layout of the heap, they can override secret password with the value of their choice. The line "cout secret password" would then not output password as expected. Instead, it prints the value an attacker managed to overflow into that memory block, which can lead to serious security risks depending on how this overwritten data is used elsewhere in our program. The biggest takeaway from this lesson is that we must ensure we're not copying more data than the destination buffer can hold. Understanding and applying secure coding practices is vital regardless of the programming language you specialize in. The Secure Coding in C and C++ course, available at learnwithkarl.teachable.com, offers invaluable insights into these practices. While the examples are in C and C++, the principles are universal and crucial for any modern programmer. Don't miss this opportunity to elevate your skills. Thanks for watching.